If you're using Steam on a Windows PC, which, like, let's be real, you probably are, you'll be happy to know that it just got a great feature from the Steam Deck. And since I've been playing a ton of games from other storefronts on my Steam Deck, I figured I'd let you know that Junkstore is getting a big 2.0 update very soon, and their pricing model is broken down, finally. And then, as always, I've got a game recommendation for you guys. If you're looking for an extraction shooter on the Steam Deck, since you've played everything that Sulfur has to offer, my last recommendation, now is the best time possible to check out SIEVERT. How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about the Steam Deck. I love covering everything in the world of Steam, SteamOS, Steam Deck, and Valve just because it's where I spend most of my time gaming. So if that sounds awesome to you, help me get to 100,000 subscribers. It really matters to me personally. So if you're new here, you've been here for a while, you're one of the 70% of people who watch this channel that aren't subscribed, please subscribe and set your notifications to all. With the intro out of the way, let's talk about the new update Steam just got on Windows. This was in the quickest beta ever. It went into beta last week and then now it's officially available. You get new performance monitoring on Windows, which looks pretty much identical to what you get on the Steam Deck. And the reason Valve updated the performance monitoring on Windows is because they want to help people understand why they're losing frames in games. So like on the Steam Deck, it has 4 options available of different granularity. The lowest option will just show you your FPS as usual. But as you go up the levels, you'll get more and more information. And I gotta be real, I'm absolutely obsessed with this stuff. So you'll get CPU usage, you'll get GPU usage, you'll get VRAM usage, you'll get frame time graphs, you'll get everything you need to know about how a game is running on your PC. And this is essential. Valve said they want people to understand how games run on their PC. I can't think of a better tool to do it. I know there's other things you can use, like the performance overlay, and RTSS is usually my go-to. For some reason, specifically with Unreal Engine 5 games like Lords of the Fallen, the reboot, not the original game, RTSS can break games. So it's just annoying to have to close down MSI Afterburner every time I want to play this game. And I've literally been sitting there at my PC saying, man, I wish the performance overlay from the Steam Deck could be translated over to Windows. And I'm glad it's here because it's a great feature. Now, the way Valve explains this is like you could use it as a tool to figure out what part your PC needs. But unfortunately, as someone who does a lot of performance and settings testing in games I play, like honestly, my favorite game when I get a new game is to figure out the settings on the first night and then I just go to bed and never really touch them again a lot of the time. Like specifically with Lords of the Fallen, that was a monumental game for me because after I got the settings all figured out to stop the stuttering, I played it. I beat it. It's awesome. It's definitely worth going back to because it's $20 all the time. But unfortunately, a lot of games that use Unreal Engine 5 like Oblivion Remastered, Lords of the Fallen, Expedition 33, even if your CPU is the problem, for example, like that's what's causing the traversal stutters, the single frame stutters, and everything that comes along with Unreal Engine 5 games, upgrading the CPU won't always fix that issue because some of the best CPUs on the market will still have that micro stuttering. It'll just be shorter micro stuttering and it's still there and still perceivable. So like, don't look at this graph that's telling you, hey, your CPU is like maxed out or it's getting bottlenecked by the GPU and go pay hundreds of dollars to upgrade your CPU. Like you should do a full investigation. The one thing I think that will influence a lot of people to upgrade their parts is watching their VRAM get maxed out. Both Nvidia and AMD have not kept up with the trend of games requiring more and more VRAM. Like they're still, I'm pretty sure, selling 8GB VRAM graphics cards, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like when you play Jedi Survivor, a game that has a major memory leak, like if you use this performance monitor or RTSS like I've been using for the past few years, you can literally watch the VRAM usage creep up and up over time and it never clears itself. So about after an hour, if you've got a 12GB GPU VRAM limit like I do, the game will just completely break down and the only way to fix it is to restart the game or sometimes your entire PC. So you can kind of not only find what component is causing bottlenecks in games you're playing, but you can also identify through that games that just aren't finished and stop wasting your time trying to find the perfect settings. Like so many games are coming out these days where you could spend all day long. Like you could be messing with settings until Saturday night next year and you could never find a solution because no matter what parts you throw at it, the game could be fundamentally broken. And that's the real thing that I think Valve should be highlighting. It could just be used as a tool to tell you when a game isn't worth wasting your time on. And because Valve is awesome, Steam has a great refund policy. So even if you go over the 2-hour limit, you might get denied once in a while, but I'll just tell you firsthand, there are a few games that I've messed around with the settings in for more than 2 hours, like Silent Hill 2, for example. That remake is a mess still to this day, almost a year later. I refunded that game after like 4 hours of screwing with the settings and realizing through my performance monitoring that it's just the game. Sometimes it really is just the game. But yeah, I'm glad this feature was added in. It's long overdue, kind of, unless you had these third-party options like I do, but I'm glad that once they released it, they got it right. As usual, I wish more companies would take a page out of Valve's book and just do things because they help the consumer instead of only doing things that generate revenue, or the dreaded word, engagement. But you guys know, I'm always looking to improve the overall usability of my Steam Deck, and that's kind of how I discovered Junkstore. So I don't use Epic Game Store really at all. I've added a lot of free games to my actual library. I mostly use GOG because they have a lot of old games, like the original 3 Resident Evils got those great, amazing PC ports, and then Silent Hill 4 The Room has an incredible PC port that you can really only get access to on GOG. So I've been using Heroic for a while. I kind of took a hiatus from using Heroic, if I'm being honest, because I spent so much time trying to get it set up right back when the Steam Deck came out, and I'd follow these guides like to the T to try and get everything working right, and then the games wouldn't launch. It was just a huge mess. So I was surprised to see when I went back to it to get these Resident Evil 3, 2, and 1 PC ports installed on my Steam Deck, that Heroic not only looks a lot better, everything just works. I logged into GOG, I downloaded the games, and then you can add individual games to Steam, and it even pulls art in for the banners, the box art, and everything else. So Heroic has gotten a lot better, but it was in that hiatus that I discovered the Decky plugin Junkstore as an easy way to add Epic Game Store games to Steam. They've had a little bit of controversy leading up to their 2.0 version because they're charging for it. It's not going to be a Decky plugin anymore. It doesn't share any code with the Decky plugin. It's going to be a standalone app. And the way the pricing model works is you pay $40 for an entire year of support. So you get updates for that entire year as they update it. And if you don't want to pay anymore, you don't lose access. You just get the latest version within the 12-month period that you paid for, and you can use that forever. But the reason they're charging a yearly fee is because, you know, SteamOS updates all the time, and then it breaks third-party plugins constantly. Like anything from Decky breaks with every single Steam Deck update, which is why I stopped using Decky. So for them to continue to put in the work to make sure it always works with every new SteamOS update, they're asking for money every single year to continue to get those updates. Now, I don't know. It's kind of tough for me to pass judgment because if it works, like I'm fine to pay for it, honestly. And also I understand the other side where it's like most of the other third-party tools on the Steam Deck are not paid. And they did try to add it to Steam as something you'll be able to buy like through Steam, and then it got taken down. So there was some weirdness there. I don't even want to wade into the conversation of whether or not it should be paid. As far as the actual model itself goes, I think it's fine. Like, you know, paying it for a year of updates for an app and then paying a year later. As someone who is completely supported by YouTube, you know, talking about the Steam Deck that pays all my bills, I love that I'm able to do that because it's a great job. It's the best job I've ever had and probably will be the best job I ever do have. So I don't fault the developers at all for trying to make money off of it because it looks like Junkstore 2.0 is going to be awesome. So you'll be able to load in all of your Epic Store games, and if they get enough subscribers at the launch of 2.0, they're going to take that as a sign that they should work on getting GOG supported, which would be huge for me. So I'm going to buy a copy day one just to see GOG included because I like the simplicity of it. I like the ability to just one click, add, scrape, do whatever to get all of my third-party games within Steam so I don't have to think about them. The less I have to go to desktop mode to not do something that I want to do, but instead do something that is like a weird trick or hack or something like that, the better. I just want to spend time playing games on my Steam Deck, and I'm happy to pay for things that help me achieve that goal. But it's totally like subjective, right? Like if you don't think it's worth $40, that's a decision for you to make, and I'm not going to pass judgment on you because it's your money. Don't let anyone tell you what to do with your money, man. And I like that they were upfront that this does take time and energy and actual work to get going. I like that they were upfront about the fact that, you know, they're not sharing code with the free version and that you'll still be able to use the free version through Decky. It's just not going to get as much support, if any at all. Like they're telling you all the information that you need to to know up front. They're not being sneaky or snaky about it. So while I understand that people are a little more protective of their money right now, I've had great interactions with the people behind Junkstore, and I can tell you, based off of my limited knowledge of them, like I don't know them as people, but you know, they seem like great people who just love the Steam Deck. Like they're not being cynical about it. They're just trying to earn a living off of their work that is related to the Steam Deck. And can I, as a YouTuber, really fault them for that? No. I don't really care, honestly, at the end of the day. I'm just like going to be real. I'm going to pay the $40 so I can get access to this product. So if you've lapsed on Heroic, you'll be happy to know that it does work better now. That's great. If you want a better solution, I recommend Junkstore. I think it's also awesome. The great thing is there's options for everyone. So there you go. You know what's going on with Junkstore. You know that Heroic is better. Don't say I never did anything for you. But like I mentioned, the Steam Deck is the best when you're just playing games on it. And I have a doozy of a game to recommend to you guys today. It is called SIEVERT. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you'll know that I recommended this game in early access. You'll know that I recommended this game when it came into 1.0. And I've always had the caveat that the controls are kind of whack. Like they're there, they work, they're functional. They take some getting used to, and I did get used to them. And I've sunk around 30 or 40 hours into this game over the past year or so since I bought it. So they were functional, but I've been begging the developers to go back and actually support the Steam Deck, because when you look at this game, it looks like it was built for the Steam Deck to be played on the Steam Deck. So essentially what it is like if you took Escape from Tarkov, so like the game where you go into a map, you kill guys, you loot their stuff, and then you try to get out without dying, then you save your stuff or sell your stuff to get upgrades to your base or your character. It's like that, but if you made it 16-bit and top down and made it just awesome and single player, most importantly, there's no online component to this at all. It's all within a single player game, which is another reason why it's so great for the handheld. So I'm happy to report that not only, again, is it out of early access, it's only $20, which is a great buy-in price. I feel like that qualifies as your guys's very stringent requirements for budget game. I feel like $20 is a budget game. And right now, while I'm recording this video, it is on sale for $15, and it just got a quality of life update that not only redoes the controls completely and makes them amazing on Steam Deck, but also just regular controllers, to the point where I finally feel like controller is the optimal way to play this game. But also it got full-scale optimization for the Steam Deck, so it runs a little bit better, and it got a prologue, which is something it really needed. I hate games that you have to go to YouTube to figure out how to play them, or look for articles, or talk to ChatGPT and be like, how do I play this game, or something like that. You should always have, even if it's bare bones, even if it's just a slideshow of general info about how to play the game, you should always have a glossary of how to play your game, because as you get older, you have less time to spend on stuff like playing video games. So the more time you have to spend learning how to play a game, the more frustrating the act of playing that game becomes. So the tutorial, I think they did a great job on it. It's really funny, it's really witty, and it does a great job actually teaching you how to play the game, which is most important here. And once you get your head around how this game works, I promise you, you're going to be absolutely hooked, and it's going to be a game that you return to for years, if not decades to come, because it really is just that good. They announced in their update video that they've sold 500,000 copies of this game. Let's get that up to 1 million, guys. Like, this game is so good. I feel like it should be a million seller on Steam, but again, for $20, 500,000 copies, like, they're sitting pretty, and I'm glad that they didn't just abandon the game after they released it out of early access. It's great. If you like Stalker, if you like Hunt Showdown, if you like Escape from Tarkov, and you've always wanted a single player version that looks and runs great on the deck, this is it. This is the best it's ever going to get, because this game is incredible. So if you pick it up, let me know down in the comments what you think of it, and just give it a little bit of time if it's a little overwhelming at first, because all of these extraction shooters share one thing in common, and it's that they're all overwhelming at first. Anyway, guys, as always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.